Hello, YouTubers. I'm back. Today I wanted to talk about Eddie Long. People who know me know that I am a Christian, um, and I love the Lord. When I first heard about the Eddie Long sexual exploitation case, I remember just shutting down and not wanting to process what was being said. And then the pictures came out. When I saw the pictures that he texted to the young men, that's when I knew. Yep, he did it. Um, I have a master's in social work, and I have been working in the field since 1990. Received my master's in 1997. And I have seen and I have heard a little bit of everything. I've been actively involved in church since 1993. And again, I have seen and I have heard some of everything. So when I saw the pictures that Eddie Long had texted to those young men, I just knew he had done it. Just my life experience told me a grown, masculine, married black man, or any ethnic group you want to pick, does not send text pictures like that to other men. And so I was just really, really hurt because why must we continue to embarrass Jesus all the time? Not saying I'm perfect, not by a long shot, but come on, people. Certain things, go get your medication, go do your therapy, and do what you can to keep it in check. So it really bothered me about this whole Eddie Long situation because of the ages of the young men. Now, I know in Georgia, 17 is considered consenting. However, what Eddie Long did as a predator, he was able to identify vulnerable young men at the age of 14, and he was able to groom them, which is what pedophiles do, um, groom them until they got to the age of 17, and it would technically be legal. Now, I was listening to one sister who was talking about this situation, and she was saying, and I had to agree with her. She said that just because someone is legally able to make a decision does not mean that they have the mental capacity to make a mature decision. And she used the word or the phrase feeble minded. And not to be rude to the young men, but that's what it was. He was able to, Eddie Long, able to pick up on who would be vulnerable, who had a victim spirit on them that he could take advantage of. And I remember one news story that said, actually a couple, that said they had 30 to 40 names of other young men. But apparently they did not want to come forward because they had gone on with their lives and they didn't want anyone to know. Um, then recently, Creflo Dollar, who I've always liked, regardless of what anybody else said about him being a crook. I understand tithing and offerings, and I get it. So, and I don't have a problem with a man of God having lots of stuff. These entertainers and athletes, they have lots of stuff, and it's okay. And they're not doing anything for your spirit or your soul. Um, so Creflo Dollar makes the statement that go back to Eddie Long Church, go back. And I started crying. I was talking to God and I started crying because I see how people have a lack of compassion. When R. Kelly did his thing and people were didn't care, listening to conversations, having conversations with people, they did not care. because it wasn't their child. And the word that came to me was selfish. People are very selfish. People lack compassion. People lack a sense of community. The problem I had with Creflo Dollar hooking up his homeboy and telling people to go back to Eddie Long's church is because Eddie Long, he's not just gay, he's a pedophile. He looks for vulnerable young men, 14, that he can take under his arm and groom. So at some later date, when they're technically of age, he can screw them. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And I would not be sending people back to his church. I would have done a TD Jakes and just said, let's stay prayerful about this. Let's stay prayerful about this. Um, because that's like with the work I do and seeing people, women who get involved with men and they find out their child is being molested by the man or being physically, emotionally, mentally abused by the man, and they stay in the relationship because one, they want to keep a man in the house, two, he's helping with the bills. And I have seen, met, talked to people whose parents have pimped them out in order to have their needs met, their parents' needs met. So, like I said, I've seen and I've heard some of everything. And so, bottom line is pray for Eddie Long. Pray for the men involved in the situation, the young men. Pray for the church, the families, Creflo Dollar, everyone involved. Because people need a moment of clarity for a season to see, understand, comprehend the damage that they are doing to people. And since we're all connected in this life, you damage this one person, then they gonna go out and damage someone who's gonna go damage someone. And now we're looking at the world and we're saying, what's wrong with this country? What's wrong with this world? People don't know how to act right. No, they don't. And part of it is because we excuse bad behavior all the time. Things that we need to be focused on, we're not focused on. Why aren't we focused on child abuse? People who are pro life, pro abortion, if they work together to eradicate child abuse, abortion would come to the point of no longer even being an issue because you wouldn't have damaged people going out making poor choices, and either getting pregnant, being with a certain type of man or a certain type of woman, um, not having the maturity level, not willing to make the sacrifice. You would just cut out a lot of nonsense if we work together to stop child abuse as opposed to trying attacking these other areas which are mere symptoms of the child abuse. So I'm at 8:57, 8, 9 and counting. So that's all I'm going to say right now. But thank you for tuning in and listening. I really appreciate it.